So let me put myself in your shoes.
Okay.
When the audio, the little snippets of you rapping some very significant parts from Astroworld come out,
man,
and you as the guy who is featured on these, this must have been the best feeling of like, hell yeah, now finally everybody knows that I actually wrote that part. Because you're not allowed to be out there saying it. It would be a bad taste. It would probably violate some kind of agreement. But here it is for the world to see.
I ain't like it. Cause like, we came up with that together. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I don't want to devalue myself. I'm not gonna do that because I did have a significant part. But it's like to be able to remember somebody's thoughts and be able to put them down for them when they have a meeting with Nike going on, Dior going on. I got a new daughter. Ooh, I had surgery on my mouth. Ooh. It's like I'm just really there to help out. I don't see myself as like, because you got to think, this is one of the biggest artists in the world. He can have anybody in there to help him. So it's just me just being there as a friend, just cool. Like, which album sound like he playing it? Oh, this going to be crazy. I knew that was the one that didn't have the same BPM as all the rest of them. I knew that was the one that fit a universal, check it, and we were just in there vibing, smoking, and just be like, nah, say this. It's like bouncing ideas off.
It feels like a violation of that relationship in some way when the snippet leaks of the original version.
Because that's not, I wouldn't say that's fully how it is, because before I was around Trav was a successful artist.
Right.
So it'd be wrong for me to just say it's all because of me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I do think I had a big part in it, but any producer / writer that comes in is gonna have a part of cultivating. That's why he called you. He didn't call you because he felt like he couldn't do it himself. He called you to get more information on what I'm trying to do on this album and how would I do it? What would you do? What flow would you use? Okay, I see why you would do that. I see why you would use that melody. So that's really what it is. It ain't like, and this is why I tell people all the time. People like, man, what you think about ghostwriting? Because everybody say this about me. When you've already conquered rap, Travis, Drake, Kanye, they speak for the genre of rap. So when they go to the Grammys or they go to the highest level of music, we want y'all representatives. So the whole hip hop industry has something to do with a Travis album. The whole hip hop industry has something to do with a Kanye, a Drake album. Cause they have the resources to be, I want every producer who do Lil Baby beats, bring them up. Who do Nipsey beat, bring them up. Who do Roddy Ricch, bring them up. Who do anybody, bring them up here. Cause I'm gonna fly them out and see what they got. So everybody's contributing to our best artists to be able to put them on the stage next to Adele or Sam Smith walk up there, and it's 30 people up there with them. I want to thank the violinist, my writer, the trumpet player, the piano, the producer, the whoop. They got a whole long list. But a rapper, he got to go up there. I want to thank God, the engineer, myself. Like, it's hard to compete with 30 great musicians. And we trying to represent for rap or hip hop, and we can only be in there with the engineer and some weed.
Right.
It's like, bro, you're not gonna be able to beat them 30 people who can read music and heard all type, they researched it. You know what I'm saying? So we trying to compete with albums of the year. That's what we doing for hip hop. So artists like Drake, artists like Kanye, they have to get all the information from our huddle. Like, yo, okay, this is what we gonna do, break. And then when they go present it to the world and say Adele or this country song or whoever, see if y'all can compete with that. And they go back and they bring stormers and they come up with their music and say, Kanye, see if you can beat that. Drake, see if you can beat that.
Right.
You know, and that's what music is. That's what pushes the music industry and just in the whole.
Because we all have the idea that like a rap song is the producer and the rapper. But for me as a person who runs a business, it's like, I would have to be a really egotistical fucking asshole to think that my ideas for a t-shirt are the best ideas for a t-shirt. Right. I hire a graphic designer. I hire multiple graphic designers. They figure out the t-shirts, you know? At a certain point as a rapper, like, and you know, I'm someone who, I loved Kanye's music and his verses before he probably even had writers. Like, he's capable.
Right.
But at a certain point, it's like, Well, when I know a guy who I can hire to have part of my team, and I know for a fact that he's one of the best rappers in the world, i.e. you, I would have to be a kind of a crazy person to not want to enlist the help of people like that, especially when he exists on such a giant level.
Exactly. And it's like, he already know he influenced me. Like, it's like, you hear how many artists sound like Drake? Like, y'all singing about me more than, because what he doing is natural. Then you got people that just sit there and study it. They so infatuated with it, they just study it. Like man, to the point where you could do Ye better than Ye can do Ye. Because you done studied this man more than he just living his regular life.
And he has to run all these businesses and shit. And meanwhile, there's rappers who don't have anything going on, and they get to think about rap all day.
Exactly. And at the time, he was that same rapper. He was in the studio helping other people, making sure their songs is right, writing verses for like. So it's like one hand wash the other, both hands wash the face.
For sure. Were you there when Kanye and Chance got into it in this viral video that came out a couple weeks ago?
No, I wasn't there.
It's okay. You can just tell me everything.
No, I wasn't there. I wasn't there. But it wasn't what the like that was a bad depiction of what that was.
Okay.
You know, a lot of times, like I said, they so close, like brothers, you gonna argue.
Right.
Like that's normal. Like, but they make it seem like it was more egregious than what it is. But one thing about it is like, man, you gotta know who Tom Brady is. And that's what it is. I ain't questioning Tom Brady. No disrespect, but bro, if that's what's on your heart, that's what's on your heart. If I thought you was a foul individual, I wouldn't fuck with you no more. I don't think that's what he meant. It's like he's privy to certain information because he can meet with every sheik in the world. He can meet with every governor, every president, every leader of a kingdom. So he gonna have information that Twitter doesn't have. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be some things he get to talk about with some world leaders and some activists and some historians, that things that people ain't gonna find on the internet. So if he say something, he would have to explain to you where I got it from, what origin it is, where part of who I spoke with, to be able to say slavery was a choice.
Right.
Like, you'd be like, man, what the are you talking about? But a lot of times when you speak of our people, you only start with slavery. The world's been here for 200,000 years. You know what I'm saying? What were we doing prior? You saying we ain't had no kings? You said we ain't had no time? Shoot, it was part when Genghis Khan ran everything. And people slave from Genghis Khan. It was like, God works in a mysterious way. He's gonna bring that, he gonna shift that power to each group of people, different parts of the world's existence. And we just happen to be living in this one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where, if you don't know the history of what he's reading or the people he's speaking with, he might just say something that may be controversial, but it's for you to do your research. And I think even when he does say controversial things, people educate themselves. We start having real conversations. Man, that ain't right. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And this, and that. Then I start learning more. Like, I seen so many people cuss him out, bro. I had to do my own research.
Right.
Like, bro, am I tripping? Because I done heard 6 people come in here and just, his best friends. I'd be like, so I'm looking, I had to educate myself, and I realized, okay, I understand what he was saying. I ain't finna let them deter my feelings of somebody that changed my life and changed everybody in his life who cussing them out.
Because regardless of what you think about that particular statement or what he was intending to say, I think that it's a really scary state of affairs if people are scared to have interesting conversations because they're scared that they're going to think the wrong way. You know,
Exactly.
in a perfect world, like, people should be so free to examine all the different potential routes of thought that you should be able to dabble in thinking of things that are clearly wrong or clearly not ideal, and you should be able to, like, at least let your brain float there and see it from a different perspective or try to make sense of things. And if we really make it so that, like, your career is over as soon as you say something that's offensive, just for you pondering it, that's a very negative state of affairs.
That's a scary state of affairs.
Yeah.
Like, people don't know how scared it's. Like, hold on, so you saying I can't even think? I can't be like, okay, but what about this? Well, what about this? I can't say, what about this? Then it's like, you can't question nothing. They can tell you, yeah, it's snow in Texas. but it ain't melting. What's going on? Like, why does it look like plastic? It's like,
Right.
we don't know. Why are you questioning it?
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, but that is a weird one because it's like, myself, I would assume that the snow is melting and that in reality you're using the lighter, it's turning into gas right away. That's why it's not melting. But whatever,
Right.
it's okay.
Right.
But, there's like a childlike wonder. I wouldn't necessarily assume. I think probably a lot of the people who are melting the snow with lighters are like crazy ass QAnon people or some
Right.
shit. But you have to allow people the room to ponder stuff.
and you just taught me something.
What?
That it could be the gas.
I believe that's the explanation. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say. Somebody like me, if I would have never opposed that, man, why this ice ain't milk? You would never educated me.
Right.
And I was like, oh, okay. Now I feel educated. So the same thing with him is like, he's gonna put it out there so each other, cause I always ask him like, man, why we ain't got a cure for cancer yet? If everybody's so smart, why we ain't got a cure?
Right.
So it is like COVID was tough. So it's like people have to figure out how many different tests they did to find the right vaccine or the one that they think is right.
Right.
They have to do a lot. They got to try. Okay, let me try hot saucing. Let me try iron mixed with. Because we don't know.
Right.
Now they figured it out through process of elimination and how to get the Gorilla Glue out the girl hair. The dude said, man, it was just simple science. I mixed.
I would like to see what her hair looks like right now, though. A lot of girls' hair can barely survive having some fucking hair dye in it. Never mind Gorilla Glue.
Exactly. But the scientist, the dude who said he was a scientist and a doctor, he remembered his science, chemicals and put it together and it melted it or got it out of the hair.
Right.
But that problem had to oppose itself for that answer to come. So that's why I think it is. I think he's just willing the universe and he's pushing other people to think harder, think stronger. What are you sure? Are you positive? Or are you been living a myth? Are you living a lie? Just make sure. You know what I'm saying? Like a human wrote the book.
You just always got to keep thinking and keep asking questions. And if we just encourage people to accept the status quo and not continue to try to question things, then it's a very bad state of affairs.
Yeah, and we don't progress as a race. I mean, as a human race in that text.
Definitely. Do you think Kanye and Drake will ever patch shit up?
I hope so, man. I hope so. I be wanting to I can't really participate like I really want to. Like I be like, I like Drake, but I can't, say it. But let me tell you something. He does too. He loves Drake. He loves him, bro. I just think a lot of times with him, it's like, I heard a quote when Jay-Z said, man, Ye is like the dude who the Indians are over the hill. And somebody say, hey, man, who gonna go see if the Indians are over there? Now, you got all these street gangsters. They like, man, I ain't going over there. They might. Ye be like, I go. What a horse. Take off. He'll go over the hill. They say he'll come back with arrows all in his back. Like, hey, man, they over there. But that's who he is, bro.
Right.
And it's like, he's that for every human on the world. Bro, I done seen him call lawyers and try to step into stuff that ain't got nothing to do. Like, yeah, why? That ain't got nothing to do with you. I don't like the way they picking on him, so I'm gonna give him my lawyer.
Right.
It's like, all right, bro.
Because I feel like a lot of successful people, you're always sort of running this program in your brain of like, how is my time best spent?
Yes.
And then I feel like Kanye is somebody who's sort of doing that, but he's not really like willing to really take his creative mind and put it in a box. He has to let it run free. He has to just randomly be volunteering his lawyer to someone, even though that 15 minutes that he was on the phone could clearly be spent doing something that was going to have a bigger impact.
Exactly. And that's what it is, man. That's why when they say protect Ye, that's a real thing, bro. I don't care. He can cry around me, scream around me, fight with me, wrestle with me. I don't have no type of way of feel about that. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand. I know who he is. Like, I've spent enough time with him to understand everything he doing is meaning good. He just trying to help other people. Because he rich. He ain't got to do nothing for y'all. He ain't got to pay no money. He ain't got to do nothing. He could just be like, oh. He's just overly just caring and giving, but he going to request a lot. But he gonna pay you for your services as well. And you're going to be proud after that piece come out, or that album, or that shoe, or that design, or whatever it is come out. And then, like I said, you're gonna go down in history, and I really do believe that.
Definitely. Was it ever awkward for you, being that you helped out with Sicko Mode and then it was later revealed that Sicko Mode was a low-key Kanye diss? I mean, some people knew, but then Kanye tweeted about it, so then we really knew.
It was crazy.
It was a conspiracy theory for a while, and then it wasn't.
Nah, it wasn't that, bro, because I didn't know, to be honest, I didn't know Drake was going to be on it.
Right.
I didn't ever heard that
okay,
version.
okay.
No, I just heard this, that's all I heard. So I can't say that.